jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
What's good, everyone? WCS back on deck with another one. Shout out to Pop, the first on deck. Salute to you, brother, and everyone else in the building. If you on deck, guess what? Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button. And do your boy a favor, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you ain't subscribed. Show support. This is going to be another hot one. Just pay attention. You know what I'm saying? But don't pay attention like you don't know, like you're misinformed. Pay attention because you do know. You feel me? Like you are educated. I feel that's the best way to talk to the supporters that I have, because I see them as educated supporters that follow the boxing sport, and they know what they know, no matter what the level is. Let's get down to the task at hand per the topic. You know what I'm saying? Fury-Chisora 3 isn't versus Crawford-Spence. Four Corners Hocus Pocus. What I mean by isn't, I want to explain something to you about the rhetoric that's going around and floating around the YTC. I want you to understand where I'm coming from with this. Real talk. So let's look at it in this way. Fury, pretty much coming out of a fight with Dillian Whyte earlier this year. People were speculating, assuming, assessing the situation that he is finally defending his belt, right, for a second time. The WBC heavyweight world title. He defended the second time against Dillian Whyte, and he stopped him. Okay, now he's choosing to return back in the ring against Fury-Chisora for a third time. It's a fight that we're not looking for. We're speaking about two different trilogies here. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the trilogy of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, that everybody wants to tune in and pay attention to. Okay, and then we're talking about a trilogy of Fury-Chisora. Now, how this doesn't make sense when it comes to the matchup is that Tyson Fury has the ability to wait this out to 2023 and fight Alexander Usyk, the unified world heavyweight champion. All right? The WBA all the way down to the IBO. He has the option to wait for Usyk to fight, because Usyk doesn't have anything lined up for the remainder of the year because he just stepped out the ring in August. All right? So that would be pretty much a very quick turnaround for Alexander Usyk to get in the ring with Tyson Fury. But I'm asking myself, if what we want to see is the heavyweight division for Undisputed, why can't Tyson Fury, who doesn't need this Fury-Chisora fight, it does nothing, absolutely nothing. We're talking about a fighter who's already fought Fury-Chisora, beat him via unanimous decisions first fight, and then the second fight, it was an RTD. He didn't come out the corner in the 10th, right? So therefore, if you're looking at his reasoning for fighting Fury-Chisora, it's almost like he's just fighting stay busy fighting, collecting a check at the end of the year, right? It has no purpose in the scheme of the heavyweight division. Absolutely zero purpose in the heavyweight scheme of things. Zero purpose. Now, am I going to say that my criticism is going to be the tip of the spear, with Tyson Fury, the criticizing him, with unlimited criticizing, the spewed criticism because he's not fighting Alexander Usyk? He can't fight him at the end of this year, right? He can't fight him. Since he fought in April, he can fight somebody else at the end of the year, no problem. But he's not fighting a unified champion that we all want to see. We want to see a heavyweight unification. We want to see a heavyweight unification, and we're not getting that fight in 2022. Now, if you read the mainstream media, they have put this information out there forever and a day as if Usyk was going to fight Fury. Usyk was going to be at the fight with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? It's so many fighters that Usyk was going to fight after he successfully defended his titles against Anthony Joshua. Well, guess what? Alexander Usyk didn't show up to the fight with Wilder. He said he was, but he didn't show up. He didn't show up to the fight with Wilder. So, Wilder is scheduled to fight Andy Ruiz next. That's a good matchup, right? So therefore, Alexander Usyk didn't keep his word. No big deal. He didn't keep his word. Okay? But now it's looking like we won't see an undisputed fight against Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury to potentially, what, 2024? The reason why I say that is if Deontay Wilder is fighting Andy Ruiz in 2023, and then Alexander Usyk is going to be due to step back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? We really don't know when Usyk is going to step to the ring. We just know he's going to step in the ring with somebody. He's going to step in the ring with somebody. And let's just say he does wait around and Deontay Wilder wins that fight with Andy Ruiz and Alexander Usyk steps in the ring with Deontay Wilder. That means we're not sure if we're going to get the heavyweight undisputed. Period. Because he's giving us the impression that he's going to defend his title against Deontay Wilder, who has another fight lined up already. So I don't see him fighting to the mid part of 2023, if anything, if it is Deontay Wilder. But what we do know is it's not going to be Tyson Fury. It's not going to be Tyson Fury at all. If he's going to wait till Deontay Wilder, the winner of the Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz, and then he steps in there with Deontay Wilder, let's assume he wins, right? He steps in there with Deontay Wilder. Where's Tyson Fury going to be to defend the fight for the undisputed? We don't know. This fight seemed like it was so close, but it's so far. We don't know when they're going to fight. So let's throw that into the equation of Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, right? Terrence Crawford, last fight was November of 2021. We already know that. And then Spence stepping out the ring in April. Okay? Look at it this way. Mr. Pass on that. What's good? Big Blunts in Boxing. Salute to you. SB90. Salute. So let's look at the Terrence Crawford situation. We already know how long he's been out the ring. And people are speaking on the 6 months negotiation. Cool. But what I want to speak on is what I believe is the truth that people are unwilling. They're unwilling to speak on and honest and allow it to be organic without having some type of bias agenda, right? Let's identify that Crawford potentially did everything he could do in that negotiation process. Let's identify that if he was in negotiation for 6 months, being that Showtime was doing everything they possibly could, PBC, being that Al Heyman is the manager, Crawford was dollar promotion. He has a manager and attorney, but none to the caliber of Al Heyman. So if this man was in negotiation for 6 months and he decided that it was no longer feasible for him to be in negotiations due to revisions that was sent back, and me and a whole lot of other people, when I mentioned this in my other live, I don't understand why they overlooking this fine detail. If the final revision that was sent back was for 2023, you can't sit up here and say that Crawford should have agreed on something earlier and this, that, and the other. We don't know what the details was earlier, but it always said they was trying to work stuff out, right? They're sending term sheets back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if they was continuing to have the iron on the board and they was getting those wrinkles out of the term sheet, and Team Crawford sent it back, but they sent back a revision that influenced Crawford to terminate, It's not Crawford's fault. It's not Crawford's fault. I have to reiterate this to you all. It's not Crawford's fault that he's choosing David Avanesian to earn a purse for 2021. It's nothing in the bylaws. It's nothing in the Muhammad Ali said that a fighter cannot choose to pull out of a term sheet negotiation and take another fight. That's not going against Muhammad Ali Act. That is not going against the Muhammad Ali Act. That is simply legal. This is what people don't want to talk about. As you see the news coming out, right? Bozy Ennis is talking about Boots Ennis, and the team Ennis is submitting a request for the IBF to order, all right? For the IBF, because he's mandatory. And then you have this other situation for the WBA. All right? Supposedly Errol Spence is going to be fighting Stanthionis. Like I said before, Stanthionis is definitely, if Errol Spence is going to fight, if he's going to fight, because he's been complaining about his weight lately. And if y'all listen to anything I've mentioned, I told you on God, I told you all that weight cut that he did for Udinese Ugas is the best that we was going to see him when it came to 147. It was the best because he was already on weight a month and a half out. That's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. So now we're talking about potentially the WBA and the IBF being vacated by Errol Spence Jr. Okay, this is how that ties in to Crawford. Very limited liability in this whole situation. Yeah, people can blame him for fighting David Avanesian. No fault of his own. He's pulling out because they changed the date to next year. Nothing in the Muhammad Ali said this man has to wait till next year for something that could potentially fall out again. Who we should be blaming, and it makes more sense, is Al Haymon. The reason why I'm saying PBC is to blame is that Al Haymon still gets paid for in-house fights. If Errol Spence come off both of those belts, he still get paid one way or the other. If Errol Spence chooses to move up to 154, Al Haymon still get paid, right? Regardless if Boots signed to Showtime, he's still gonna get a piece of the pie, regardless. Somehow, some way, we don't know who Ennis is gonna fight if that IBF title is vacated. Also, for the WBA title, he still will have a piece of that for whoever fights for that WBA title. He's still getting a piece of the pie. That pie is going to be motherfucking hot. It's going to be a hot piece of, those slices are going to be a very hot piece of monetary pie that he's going to get if those titles are vacated. It's better, listen, it's better for it to work out that way for PBC instead of him allowing Errol Spence to go over here and get stepped on by Bud Crawford and lose all the belts. If he's able to set this up properly, and let's just say the belts are vacated in 2023 or whenever, and Spence chooses to move up, then he still has the possibility and the range to keep this beneath the umbrella with new faces. With new faces. You know what I'm saying? So we can kind of see how the manipulation can continue with him having a piece of the championship structure. If he still can keep some of those belts beneath the PBC banner, he don't want to lose all of them. And then, you know, anybody and everybody get a shot at the titles. No, he wants the money to still be in-house and then allow those first fights for those titles to be something that he can earn some revenue off of. So it's a reason. Understand this. It's a reason why the fight was prolonged to 2023. And I'm going to go out and say, I don't think the fight is going to happen in 2023. Erase my scenario. That's all you have to do. Erase my scenario and allow Bud Crawford to not fight David Avanesian. And he buckles up and take a seat throughout the holiday into 2023, right? And then, just like earlier this year when Timothy Smith came out, he told y'all that they didn't want to insult Bud Crawford. He told y'all at the beginning of the year, but y'all brushed the shit off because you're so eager and you salivating for this fight to happen. You didn't respect or care what Timothy Smith said. They came out and told you the exact same thing that materialized this month. We didn't want to insult him. What we was gonna offer, this, that, and the other, it played out right in front of our eyes. But you gotta understand, we have some individuals that are so blind, they can't even hear. They can't even hear straight. They don't want to see what's going on. So if they're trying to listen to something and the same people around them talking, the same bias ass shit, instead of telling them the truth, that's what they're going to retain. They're going to retain the bias ass shit, the shit that don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? They're going to ignore the facts. They're going to ignore what the possibilities are because they're going to tell you all day, every day that boxing is a fucking business. But they're not going to try to explain step by step on why this potentially played out after we already had evidence from the beginning of the year. Timothy Smith told us everything we needed to know. So we can't go into the negotiation process and say it was 6 months like Timothy didn't tell us at the beginning of the year. He gave us the preamble. You didn't want to listen. So you jump in these negotiations several months ago and act like it's a clean slate. All because Errol Spence defeated Yordenis Ugas. He told you all before Errol Spence stepped in there with Yordenis Ugas in April that they didn't want to insult him. He didn't have faith that the fight was going to happen. If somebody proactively tell you something, they're trying to prepare you for what's to come. Why? Because boxing is a motherfucking business. A business is not based off impulsive reaction at the last minute. Business is based off proper preparation prevents piss poor planning. Proper preparation prevents piss poor planning. You think a person that's in Al Heyman's situation is going to wait to May or June to plan out this shit with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? No, this has been in the works on what his plans is. So when we got to this point of negotiation, people still ignored the fact on what Timothy Smith told us. So now we hear all this back and forth about Terrence Crawford being lowballed and he's taking 35%. All these dang voices that's out there talking about, oh, you should be the challenge, shut up, just humble yourself, take what they give you and all that. Okay, what if Terrence Crawford was taking everything that they was given and it still wasn't enough? What if frustration built up? Should a man get blamed for being frustrated on doing everything he's trying to do to prove to the boxing fans that he want to fight, that he want to go in there and fight? Should he be excoriated for that? Should you now light up the torches and go on a motherfucking protest just because you're not getting everything that you want? You complain about the man being with Top Rank. You complain about how you felt about how Top Rank was handling it. You complain that Crawford didn't sell tickets, that he caused Bob Arum to lose money, right? And with Bob Arum losing money, what were you saying about it? Oh, Bob Arum wasn't treating it right. He's not selling tickets. You know what I'm saying? So he caused Bob Arum to lose money. The same person you was criticizing in Bob Arum, you was kind of trying to highlight him to criticize Crawford. Crawford ended up exhausting his last fight and moving on into a negotiation period after Errol Spence won the fight with Yordenis Ugas. Now, you actually believe that Al Heyman decided to start his negotiation process after? No, negotiation process as far as the thought, you know, the whole planning, the step-by-step was already in motion. They already knew where they wanted to go with it. They already knew what they was going to try to lowball Crawford with. They already knew this shit, bro. They already knew it. So for them to have a so-called date locked in, right? It was October, then it was November, right? That sounds good. That looks good. That looks good. But we didn't have a venue. All we had is YouTube eyeballs out here are looking at things, not understanding the strings that's attached to them was purposely done. You know what I'm saying? It's for malicious intent. It's to get you to believe that the magic is real, but it's never going to be real. Because Al Heyman in itself, with the power that he has, the education experience, the damn business ethics coming from the music industry over to the boxing business, he is a smart man. He is. And with the smart men who are rich comes what? Comes decisions that we're all not going to agree with. We may not agree with them, but for Al Heyman, those decisions are going to benefit him. The decisions that we don't like will always benefit the person that's able to make them. Now, if they are the higher position of authority and they're able to be a shaker and a mover, guess what? They're not making decisions to appease us. Now, they can tie down the business plan and say, guess what? This is what we need to do for the consumers here. We need to put the price point here, this, that, and the other. But if by chance they understand or they don't have faith in their fighter, Errol Spence, right? He has to come up with a plan that's going to further supply him with revenue, because he may feel that behind the scenes, the conversation that him and Spence is having and everything else dealing with the weight and all the other shit that happened outside the ring, he might not have faith in Errol. He might not have faith for him to go in there and beat Crawford. So he's not going to put it out to the public. All he's going to do is go through the motions all the way through the point where he's trying to set other moments. He's trying to set other situations in motion. Those other situations may have a calendar window on them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to be in 2022. But all of a sudden, when these negotiations fail, Jerron Ennis them submit paperwork for the IBF to order Errol Spence to fight them. Now we have the information that's coming up for potentially Errol Spence to fight Stanthionis. All right? Because they already gave Stanthionis step-aside money. So now we don't know if he's going to step in with Stanthionis, which should be a tough fight too, or he's going to move up to 154. But the head of the table, Al Heyman, truly understood where he was going with this negotiation process so he can further be in charge and in control of 2023 when Errol decides to make a move on whatever he's trying to do. If he's going to vacate the IBF and the WBA, we'll see at the beginning of the first semester of 2023. But in my opinion, Al Heyman did not want to make this fight between Crawford and Errol Spence, because if Crawford defeats Errol Spence Jr. and vacates, Al Heyman has no control. People always say that PBC has control of the 147, PBC has control of the 154. But guess what? If those belts get into the hand of Terrence Crawford and he vacates those belts because he refused to sign with PBC, he vacates the belts. Well, guess what? It's going to be open season. It's going to be open season. The collective hardware that's over in the hands of Errol Spence and PBC, it's no longer. It's going to be very difficult for him to throw that line out there and fish for a motherfucking fight. It's going to be difficult to try to reel those belts back in. It's not going to be that easy. Look at the 140-pound division. Josh Taylor was a unified champion. He started coming off those belts. Now we have some of everybody that's fighting for the WBA title, WBC title. Come on, man. The writing's on the wall. Y'all know how to read since before you was 10 years old. Don't act like you turned a teenager and became an adult. Now all of a sudden you cannot decipher what the fuck I'm talking about. Al Heyman had every sense. He had every type of control, every sense of authority to plan this. He's not stupid. He doesn't just sit up here and say, well, we're going to give it a little bit more time. We're going to give it a little bit more time. We're going to give it a little bit more time. We're going to wait to Spence win. No, that shit was already in motion. Why the fuck did Timothy Smith come out at the beginning of the year? This shit was already in motion on what they were deciding to do, what their plan was for 2022. If Spence was to win, then they got to figure it out. They got to talk. They got to see how he look. There's conversations that we're not in attendance to. So since we're not in attendance, the only thing we can do is assume for what we see on the outside. But just put it together, y'all, and stop acting like you dumbfounded to this information. All of a sudden, Spence started talking about weight. When does he start putting out texts about weight? When? When did all this request for the order for the IBF? You know what I'm saying? All of this administrative logistics is coming out right now. When those months that was outside the post fight of Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas, nobody was talking about this shit. All we was hearing is negotiation. 55-45, 55-45. All the bogus information. And what did I put out there? That shit is bogus information, man. July 4th, they supposed to look. April, May, June, July. Right? You jump out of the ring, and now negotiations supposedly taking place. July 4th is official announcement. Bogus, false, fake-ass news. Never happened. The fight's supposed to happen in October. It's nearing closing. It never happened. Then it switches to November. People running around here scurrying. Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We don't have a venue set up. We don't have any contractual information to say both fighters have signed. It is a done freaking deal. No, we heard both fighters had agreed. Both fighters have agreed, but they still working out things with their attorneys. The attorneys were still looking over the term sheet and everything to make sure it was good to go. But in the finale of all this shit, they sent back a revision to Team Crawford that had a different year. Surpass on deck. What's good? Salute to the OG for coming across enemy lines last night, pulling up on the panel full of Bud haters. You already know, man. You already know. All good, brother. Hope all is well with you. SB90 says Stantionis can fuck around and catch EJ. I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying, man. I'm not talking to y'all like y'all inferior. Y'all know boxing just like I know boxing, right? I want us to have a remote conversation. You know what I'm saying? I want us to have a remote dialogue about this situation and tying everything together. If you talk about it enough, more and more comes out. I'm telling you all, in my opinion, that those individuals that's out here blasting Crawford for not, for pulling out negotiation and fighting David Avanesian does nothing to the sport of boxing. You cannot give him power, okay? You cannot stand around here and believe that you're going to give Terrence Crawford all this power when you was basically saying the same shit they used to say about Deontay Wilder's boxing skills. You cannot do it. When Tyson Fury was rewarded for beating Deontay Wilder and put on the magazine, but yet you want to dog out Crawford for leaving Top Rank, who y'all was calling the fucking plantation. So the man leaves, he has no promotion behind him like y'all wanted, and now you want him to stand at the motherfucking toes. You want him to put his forehead to the motherfucking canvas and allow anybody, everybody with the name of Al Heyman to be there glowing with a halo over his head, and you want him to just accept everything that's being disseminated out in negotiation that doesn't benefit Crawford, in all fairness. You just want him to sit up there and surrender. So how in the hell all of a sudden he pulls out and fight David Avanesian, you saying it's all his fault? I thought he didn't have no power. So really what you're doing is you convincing the public that you're nothing but straight up haters that don't know shit about boxing business. All you want to do is have your favoritisms, favoritism dilute everything when it comes to boxing media and what it's supposed to be. You want to say all the way around, we're going to criticize Crawford when he was at top rank. We're going to criticize Crawford when he leaves top rank. And we're going to criticize him when he was in negotiation with PBC. We're going to continue to criticize him because he didn't stay there through the New Year's and goddamn wait to 2023 when they was going to cancel out there and say, no, we can't make the fight. Now he's going to win a whole motherfucking calendar year, no paycheck, and then make the command's decision to fight a stay busy fight with David Avanesian. He chose to get up, not sit on his ass the whole motherfucking calendar year, and do grown man shit, business related, smart business moves, and picking up a possible 8-figure paycheck. And you niggas mad again. He was mad when he was with Top Rank. You reiterated everything Bob Arum said. When he left, you was mad that he was leaving the same motherfucking promotion that you said that was a plantation, man. I don't get how y'all niggas are ever going to be happy when it comes to Terrence Crawford. He left the promotion. He's listening. He said, no, I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. He didn't resign. If Bob couldn't get me in the fight when I was signed with him, I don't think he can get me in the fight when I'm not with him. He took his business elsewhere. Now he's out here doing grown man, boxing elite type shit. He's already made it perfectly clear he don't have that many fights left in his career. And he's going in there once again. You're talking about a guy who had a higher guarantee than Errol Spence at a promotion that y'all call the plantation. You call that man racist, prejudiced, derogatory names like Top Rank Toby. Y'all niggas are the problem. His own people are the problem because you didn't never give this man credit for doing shit. If he steps in the ring and he goes in there and stop a fighter, oh, that opponent won shit. He didn't do nothing special. He didn't do nothing. Oh, he's at Top Rank. He's a Top Rank Toby. He should leave Bob Arum. Oh, he leaves Bob Arum? Now he don't have nobody. What he's going to do now? He's a man with no land. He was a man with no land. He's a man with no land. Did you hear them? Why do WCS have to break this shit down? I'm not telling you to pay attention, bro. I'm telling y'all what I believe. It's up to you to decipher whether you want to retain this shit as truth or lies. They said Crawford was a man with no motherfucking land. But that turned out to be absolutely, utterly ridiculous. That turned out to be false. You know why? Because he got his ass up and walked the fuck out. It looked like some land to me, goddammit. Because you're going to stand your ass up and abort mission on a damn situation that has no forward progress. And you have to jump over walls after walls after walls. So guess what? You're trying to tell me when they sent the revision back and they say they didn't hear nothing back from Team Crawford. Crawford's supposed to sit there, left hand, left knee, right knee, back straight, head nod straight to the front and mouth shut all the way through the holidays into 2023 and say, now I'm ready. I waited all the way through the holidays. I'm ready for negotiation now. I'm ready. Is that what we're trying to say? All you channels out there that's finger pointing and talking all this shit, you niggas were never satisfied with what Crawford was doing inside the ring or outside the ring. If he was making a high guarantee and he wasn't a pay-per-view star, what the fuck does that tell you about his business savvy? He was standing firm on his 10, right? He was competing on his 10. And he was going in there getting results on those 10. The type of results that we could say he has all stoppages in this division. It's never going to be enough. If the man didn't have no land, it sure enough looked like he walked his ass out of those negotiations after they sent him back a final revision and say, the fight ain't happening in 2023. See you next year. So y'all mad that he pulled out? Are y'all stupid? Are you dumb? He pulled out of the motherfucking fight that wasn't happening in 2022. Oh, let me guess. All because he's fighting supposedly in December. It kind of have a conflict of interest heading into 2023 in a quick turnaround. In a motherfucking quick turnaround. It's not appeasing PBC anymore. It's not appeasing their favorite fighter, Spence. That's what the fuck we saying. It seemed like the man with no land is Errol Spence Jr. That seems like the man with no land right there. When you really take a close look, the man with no land is Errol Spence Jr. Because you know what? When you get these naive naysayers that huddle around in a group and they talk about the same shit over and over again, and they don't want to see nothing outside that group, that conversation that they have, they're going to continue to look like sheep, and they're going to continue to sound like sheep, and they're going to continue to move like sheep, because they know when it comes to Errol Spence, he ain't making no decisions. Floyd Mayweather's been on record several times sonning him. Don't believe that. When the news break, I'll release it. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. Floyd was telling you all. He didn't come up here and say, you know what? That would be true if Terrence Crawford was doing what he's supposed to be doing. That would be true, that negotiation, that this, and this, if Terrence Crawford was doing what he was supposed to be doing. But he sat up there and said, don't believe that shit. So if Floyd Mayweather, who's a shaker and a mover, business partner, we know for a fact he done made Al Heyman's millions. If he's telling you all when the fight's going to be announced, I will announce it. Y'all brushed him off too. Y'all brushed off Timothy Smith. You brushed off Floyd Mayweather. And you brushed out the fact that Al Heyman is a smart businessman. His decisions may not benefit us, the boxing universe. It's not supposed to. If he wanted us to be happy, he would put a smile on our face by doing a conference call, a Zoom call. He would show his face. He would show his face. He would talk to the fans, and he'll give you, hey, I appreciate everything y'all doing. I appreciate the ones that's working hard for PBC fighters. I want to give a shout out to the YTC community, the PBC, you know what I'm saying? The transparent shareholders of 0.0% that has stock in this business. I want to give a shout out to them on the YTC. Y'all been doing a great job working for free. I love you. Continue to talk about my guy Spence, but hey, get with us next year in 2023. All right? Get with us next year in 2023. We'll see how this work out. All right? And look, I'm not promising you anything. It's not up to me to promise you anything. I'm just saying get with us back in 2020. Get with us in 2023, and then we'll see how this goes. But right now, I'm going to tell you ahead of time, Spence do have mandatories. I'm just saying, Spence does have mandatories. I'm not telling you that we'll be able to work out, negotiations with Terrence Crawford in 2023, but Spence does have mandatories. So if you listen to what I'm saying, Spence does have mandatories. Okay? There's no way to get around it. Boots in his ears in his shoot. All right? We have to understand that's a fact. No, we have to identify Virgil Ortiz is on deck. We have Stantionis. We have all these mandatories, which are required. There's no way around them. So either we're gonna make the fights with Crawford, or we're gonna have to find out what we're gonna do with these mandatories. You don't hear people, these Spence fanatics talking and directing us in the area for which Spence should fight this person first. Spence should fight that. No, you know what they're saying now? They don't want him to take the route that's not the easy route. They want this guy to move up now. If he's not going to get Crawford, they don't want to see him go in here and get beat the fuck up by somebody outside the name Terrence Crawford. Indeed, all is well on my side. I don't mind watching Bud versus David or Spence versus any of them guys, but I ain't paying for nothing from either. The only fight I'm buying is Bud versus Spence. I'll pay $120 for that pay-per-view. Okay. Shout out to Showtime Shaw News, Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw, on deck. What's good with it, bro? They 0-7 against Bud Crawford. Al Heyman fighters, the confidence isn't there. He already slain one of their 2-time welterweight champions. This is I'm just trying to highlight this, man. You know, sometimes when you see light out there, sometimes it's not bright enough for these individuals. You know why? It's not the fact that they can't see the light. It's the fact that they put their hand over their eyes and put them over their ears, and goddamn, they keep their lips shut. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. These cats ain't trying to hear how boxing business goes. As much as they criticize Al Heyman, you have to goddamn say, well, guess what? He really is making the decisions. You can't sit up here and highlight this man as being a top 3 graduate of Harvard and everything that goes along with his business experience, and then act like he's taking a back seat in these negotiations when it comes to Crawford. Y'all up here motherfucking pointing a finger at Crawford and like he's making all the damn decisions against Al Heyman. Like he's the man at the forefront making phone calls and talking on the phone and going through the whole logistic process and trying to make all this shit work. That's what he has attorneys for. What did Rick Glaser say? Terrence Crawford hired a different attorney to look over some shit and try to make some shit work, right? Doing the negotiation. Did you hear any of the Spencerholics, the aerosexuals, highlight that shit? Why would he hire another attorney to make this shit work if he don't want to fight Errol Spence? He's just giving away money? He's just motherfucking giving away money, hard-earned money. I'm going to hire another attorney. I'm going to retain. I'm going to pay for another retainer, okay? Pay for another retainer to have somebody else get a different set of eyes on this. Because I really want to make this fight like he been saying. He said, we're going to make the fight. We're going to make the fight. Bernie said, hey, I talked to the champ. The fight going to be in November. I talked to the champ. Now, why wouldn't Crawford be trying to make this fight? SB90 said Crawford would stop averaging 5 rounds. EJ would go 12 with him. Talk that, man. Talk that. Young Billy on deck. Hey, man, you got to be more. Look, Billy, I know you don't come over here often, and I know who you are. If it's respect, then respect what I'm about to tell you. Just be more specific in the come on. All right? I don't know what come on mean. Do you want me to come on and do what? What part, if I'm speaking and I'm running through sentences, right? I don't know what point you're saying come on and you want me to address, brother. You have to be specific and underline that shit. Put it in the damn chat. I don't know what come on mean. And why? Look, what are you saying? You have to be specific, bro. I can't read your mind, brother. Since we using Bud's word, he tweeted he don't need a tune-up. Listen, after everything that you know about Bud Crawford, why are you concerned or worried about him getting a tune-up? You're not sure yourself that the fight is going to happen in 2023 between Spence and Crawford. You just over here want this man to stay buckled in. You want him to stay shackled down. You want him to be submissive. You don't want him to be business savvy and stand up and make a command decision to fight David Avanesian for a purse. Y'all want this man not to get nothing. Every time I hear y'all talk on this YTC, it's constant motherfucking complaining about Terrence Crawford. Why aren't y'all telling the public what Errol Spence should do next? Just like y'all was saying about Terrence Crawford, right? He just finished fighting Sean Porter and he ain't doing shit. This is before Errol Spence stepped in there with Sean Porter. He ain't fighting nobody. He should fight Boots. It's funny how y'all are not saying that Errol Spence should be fighting Jaron Ennis now. This is in light of Jaron Ennis submitting to the IBF to order that the mandatory be between him and Spence. Are they going to fight or not? Let's order that shit. Y'all not saying anything. Y'all busy sitting up here whining, crying and shit. Got all these handkerchiefs hanging off your motherfucking neck. Blowing snot bubbles. Oh my God. Spence, Spence, man, I feel bad for Spence. Goddamn, Crawford pulled out of the fight. So let's go back to the critical period of learning, right? Back in grade school. Do you all know how many months in a calendar year? We live in a universe of simulations that's based off numbers, all right? So we're saying it's 12 numbers 12 months in a motherfucking year. So you want this man to continue to wait October, November, December, January, February. You want him to sit on his motherfucking ass for 5 months and not do shit, and he's a professional boxer that's independent? That's what you're trying to convince me of. You want this man to sit on his hands when he could be using his hands inside the ropes and making millions. You're acting like you didn't hear that they sent the revision back and the fight was going to be 2023. So you're telling me he's supposed to wait 5 to 6 months? He's supposed to wait 5 to 6 months because y'all clouded-minded individuals want to sit up here and be so biased towards Bud Crawford. You don't want him to even take a step forward. Because the man with no land is Errol Spence. He can't move. He can't do shit. He's locked in over there at the plantation. They were complaining about a white man that's the flagship of promotions. He's doing his thing for decades. Oh, no. Bud was wrong for over there, but majority of the black fighters, young and up and coming, they over there top rank. To include women. But yet you got these individuals that's closed-minded. They want him to go to a black man that they idolize, to screw him over worse than they were saying he was getting screwed over at top rank. They want him to go over to PBC and just lower his standards. If he was getting high guarantee, they want that man to take the lowest penny to the motherfucking dollar. And then once it was proven that they sent back a revision and they didn't hear shit back, that revision wasn't dealing with no percentages or anything. And I told you early in my live, I said, why they didn't put the date in there? Why they didn't put the date in there term sheets ago? Why wasn't this something that Team Crawford could look up and say, you know what? We don't like that date. We want to stick with November. Is it possible for us to stick with November? Why y'all changing the date? Something to that nature. Put November in that motherfucker. Keep it in there. But when they sent back the last revision and it was 2023, come on, man. What's the deal? Explain that shit to me. I like how, shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz and more. I like how y'all coming over here, you know what I'm saying? Calling the man out his name. Hey, go ahead. It just further demonstrates that y'all niggas are incapable of thinking on your own. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't respect me having a dialogue with y'all about both fighters. See, y'all will get up here and call a fighter out his name. I don't have to do that with Errol Spence to get my point across. I'm trying to primarily focus on the sequence of events. That's all I'm doing. How can you get mad at Terrence Crawford for getting his ass up and not waiting 5 motherfucking months to 2023 to take a stay busy fight and make millions? If indeed he's getting 8 figures, that's more than 1 cent. That's more than 1 cent. For him to go in there and use his hands instead of sitting on his hands. And y'all mad once again that he ain't sitting down in place doing nothing? So y'all can now project that negativity on him? Oh, he was done. Look at that dummy. He sat all the way through the holidays to 2023 of the New Year's, and now they come out and saying that Spencer's going to vacate the WBA and the IBF. What a dummy. He's stupid. He could have did something else. All along, these same individuals are not holding Errol Spence accountable to say what he should be doing. Who is Spence fighting next? Who he fighting? Who do you all, that's the Spencerholics, who do you want Spence to fight next. Now that he's not stepping in the ring with Crawford, who do you want to see him fight? Is it Jaron Ennis? Or the easy route Stanthionis? Is it Jaron Ennis? Or is it the easy route Stanthionis? Is it the easy route Stanthionis? Or Jaron Ennis? Because I haven't heard none of y'all talk on Jaron Ennis like he's going to be an easy freaking touch for Errol Spence. So y'all rather say, okay, we're not going to talk about Jaron Ennis because the reason why, it's a changing of the guard that's taking place. So we want to next, when Errol Spence goes off and retire, we want Jaron Ennis to be the next in line so we can get him on our team. So we can put all that biased media on Jaron Ennis. See, in order for you all niggas to do that shit, he has to have a dance partner. He has to have a rival in order for you all to continue to push these wheelbarrow-ass narratives. Jaron Ennis don't have a rivalry in welterweight. Who's going to be his dance partner for you all to get up in the morning and want to come over here and do lives and talk that bias-ass rhetoric? Who is going to be his Terrence Crawford? Who? Shout out New Media Today, USA Boxing, Coach Malachi in the building on this Tuesday. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Always a pleasure. Y'all definitely check him out. One of the hottest in the game right now. Pat say, Uncle Bruce, salute. I just sent you the interview with what Bob Evans said about the whole thing. Okay, appreciate that, Blunts. Appreciate you. Does boxing with a bunch of Floyd Mayweathers in the sport? Look, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm going to be honest with you. If you ask a question that is way beneath what I assume your boxing knowledge is and what my boxing knowledge is, I'm going to ignore it because I feel like you want me to address something that's so basic and you want me to do your homework for you. I'm not going to do it. I'm only going to talk about current events to a point. Now, of course, with that, I have to go back several months to try to tie this all together. That's it. I have to go back several months to when Crawford fought and all this shit and bring it full, bring it to the forefront and tell you why I believe that people are wrong when they try to blame Crawford for this shit. How? He doesn't have no control over Al Haymon. Terrence Crawford can't tell Al Haymon what to do. Spence can't tell Al Haymon what to do. Y'all was sitting up here praising, Errol Spence to be a part of the PBC. Y'all up here all gathered together, breathing hard and shit. PBC, a PBC, a PBC. But neither one of y'all was up here saying that, okay, this is what Spence should do. It was always what Crawford should be doing, what Crawford ain't doing, what he should be doing, what he ain't doing. Who should he fight now? Negotiations are over for him and Crawford. Who should Spence fight now, shawty? Please tell me, who should he fight now? Y'all not talking about anything except Crawford. Y'all trying to further convince me that he's more of a popular fighter than y'all letting on to be. Y'all keep his name in your motherfucking conversation, and he's gonna continue to grow. So you keep on talking and talking and talking in a negative way. People gonna continue to talk about why you being biased and the lack of confidence that you have with Errol Spence actually stepping in there to face Terrence Crawford to begin with. I don't think Al Haymon has confidence. If he did, why not make the fight for 2022? Why send back a revision that said 2023? Okay. And so Crawford's supposed to just sit his ass down like a good little boy through the holidays into the 2023 without making a motherfucking purse? If your job told you, hey, we laying you off. No, don't lay me off. The holidays coming up. We laying you off. We'll talk to you next February. We laying you off. Will I get laid off with pay? No pay. We laying you off. Don't ask no questions. We're laying you off. You know, it's unfortunate. I got to do role playing in this bullshit. They talking about I'm going to hell and back for Bud. How's it hell? And all I see is light. How's it hell, brother? How? You got to look at it in a way that I'm speaking from an enlightenment moment. I'm speaking that this man stood up and went and got a stay busy fight for money, because boxing is a business. These contractors, these fighters, you know what I'm saying? They have to go out here and still make a living. Y'all individuals that are trying to prevent that with your words, y'all are called haters. Yeah, that's what you call. Don on deck, what's good? Salute, even Tank is starting to put PBC on blast. I wouldn't be surprised if more fighters start voicing their dissatisfaction. See, you know, I was gonna freaking put a strike against you, Don, because you used dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction, in my opinion, has over 10 syllables in it. You know what I'm saying? That might be considered a word too large for the Spencerholics that are tuned in. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the Spencerholic below your comment, Don, he's using emojis. That means he is incapable of typing and using his home keys to get his point across. He want to use emojis. You just goddamn wrote 4 lines in a paragraph and you use dissatisfaction, shawty. You have to control yourself when you're typing out $5, $6, $7 words, bro. You over here on my boulevard trying to tell me what I need to stop doing. No, you know damn well. You know damn well that I'm making some solid points. Y'all want to sit up here and blame Bud, but Bud doesn't have influence over Al Heyman, shawty. Why the fuck y'all don't sit up here and try to talk on that? Speak on it. Bud don't have no freaking control over that. Errol Spence don't have control over Al Heyman. Errol Spence don't have control over Floyd Mayweather. Y'all gonna call Gervonta Davis a lie? Gervonta Davis said, I'm taking my shit elsewhere. Y'all not sitting up here excoriating him. Y'all not denigrating that brother. Y'all not vilifying him from hell, right? He's talking about the same shit. Word is that it's shambles that's going on over there. And like I say, in rich people words, when it's shambles, that means another rich person is making decisions to get themselves out of one situation into another that can make them money. They don't give a fuck about what the boxing community thinks, because you're not contributing to their monetary gain on a regular basis. We're not doing that. We're consumers. We have to wait on them. We have to wait on them. When a fight come up and it's official, we pay for it. We're consumers, bro. We're not at the tables. We're not sitting up here telling Al Heyman what he should do. So if somebody from PBC, whoever that may be, that made the decision that 2023 is the year, guess what? They ran that shit through motherfucking Al Heyman, man. So stop with all the motherfucking cap, crying and whining all the time, and talking about, Bud Crawford's just it's not a good look for boxing. So you trying to tell me boxing, if you look at it, let's just say, you look at boxing, you try to visualize boxing in its entirety, and you try to put it in a form. Will you get one person or many? Will it even be a person, or will it be an object? If it is an object, will it be something that's suitable to the satisfaction of those individuals that's collectively looking at it in a positive or negative way? Or will it be considered something in a demonic type form? Or would it be something that's in a light form, something religious? You know, is it possible for us to view it in an effigy? What about semiotics? How can we view boxing? Just because you have human beings that's competing in the sport, that doesn't mean if we had the opportunity to view it as one entity, what would it be? You can't say a person. A person's not that smart to be that grimy and expect to live a long life. It has to be something else. It has to be something that humans can't control. They never even had a moment where they say, okay, I can control something like that. No, you can't control it. Boxing isn't a single entity, bro. Hey, all the ducking and all that, cool. Okay, cool. Jason said PBC is notorious for holding up fights for years and even not making them. So whose fault really is it now? And a fighter like Spence that don't believe in himself without alcohol. Hey, solid point. Okay, so done. You continue to say he didn't need a tune-up. So for me, you seem like the type of person, right, that don't want to see somebody be successful, period. Because if he's a grown-ass man competing in the sport and you're not, and being that you're not competing in the sport, I'm going to go a step further and say you're not even associated with Team Crawford's team. What I mean by that, you're not the manager, you're not the cut man, you're not the chief second, you're none of those positions. So you're just like me. You're on the outside looking in, right? So now you're worried about him and a tune-up. Why the fuck does it matter to you if he's fighting a tune-up? He's stepping in the ring through the ropes, not you, shawty. You seem like you bitching and complaining. That's what it seems like to me. You seem like you sitting in there in the closet with a goddamn candlelight crying and shit. Oh my God, Spence. We feel for you, Spence. We don't know what you got. What's going on with you next, man? We're left in the dark. You seem like an individual that say you're a boxing fan, but most of the time when a match is on, you're digging in your nose and goddamn putting it in your mouth saying, that's different. Go get some Doritos, then pick another one out, put it in your mouth. You're not even really paying attention to what's going on. You're distracted. You're doing other shit that's non-relatable to boxing. That's why you come in here and say, but why does he have to face a tune-up? No, nigga, I'm talking about the amount of months that he'll be waiting. October, November, December, January, February. You want that man to sit on his hands and not make $1 million purse. $1 million. Just $1 million, dog. You want him to sit on his motherfucking hands. Man, get the fuck out of here, dog. What are you talking about? That's funny as hell. No, young billionaire. You got to be more specific, bro. You came over here saying, come on. You come over here saying, come on. Come on for what? Come on for what? In order for you to say, come on, you had to disagree with something I was saying. If a brother like me is up here telling you something you don't agree with, at least have the common courtesy to address what you don't agree with, man. I cannot interpret what come on mean. That's all I'm saying. It ain't nothing personal. I know I don't come on your show. I don't drop stuff, in the chat if I don't agree with you like that. I don't come on there. Hey, man, come on, man. And you got to ask me, what you mean by come on, bro? What did I say? What are you disagreeing with? Because you ain't going to tell me to come on and you agreeing with me, especially on this topic. Ever Stantionis is a good fight, in my opinion, if it happens. We don't know if he's going to have another fight at welterweight. He's on record. This is not something that's fabricated from WCS. He's on record as saying, oh, man, I've been fighting this division for over 10 years. It's hard. So you have this tweet from Spence, bro. That's from Spence. That's not from me. Y'all don't want Crawford to earn this shit? He can't get 8? He can't get 8, shawty. You trying to tell me he can't get 8? Y'all worrying about a tune-up versus 8 figures. Let's make it make sense, bro. You talking about a tune-up When the fight is pushed to 2023, if it happens, we're just talking about we putting a placemat over there for negotiations to resume. Okay, resume. And in the meanwhile, you have once again October, November, December, January, February. Give or take a little under 5 months. 8 figures. 5 months, 8 figures. 5 months, you get absolutely nothing if you take no action. 8 figures. 8 figures evolves with sub actions that has taken place. He decided to do negotiations. He decided to sign a contract and set up a venue, make all the damn administrative logistics happen. It's set in stone. Boom, Boxrec put it up for a schedule, and he's due to make a monetary purse. 5 months, 0, 8 figures. 0, 8 figures. 0, 8 figures. You get it? 0 for 5 months, 8 figures in December. 0 for 5 months, 8 figures in December. Do I must continue? Do I have to continue? 0, 5 months, 8 figures in one fucking month. 8 figures in 1 month. Not just 1 month, a day in the motherfucking month. Sit on your motherfucking hands for 5 months, $0 earned, 1 day on the 10th in a single month. 8 figures. 8 motherfucking figures. 8 figures. And you're talking about motherfucking tune-up. Stop it, bro. Y'all are hating. Y'all are hating. I know it's a joke if you're refusing to damn retain anything. You know what I'm saying? You know English is my first language. But even in English, it has levels. It does. It has levels. So I know you understand what I'm saying because you're saying it's a joke. It's not up to me to break this shit down when I know you know English too. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt just like me. You got the basic education just like me. I'm talking to sound-minded, intelligent individuals. But if you choose to make a choice to be biased and listen to what the fuck I'm saying, then you're putting in more energy and trying to dispute everything I'm saying instead of just listening to me. I'm not going to force you to listen to anything. I'm telling you what I've gathered out here with this situation, and I'm putting all the damn culpability with the authority of Al Heyman pushing this fight to 2023. So it's extremely naive to think that he's supposed to sit 5 months, $0 earned, instead of taking 1 day out of December and earning 8 figures. Get the fuck out of here, bro. EJ himself, his promotion and team don't believe in him. It's not Bud's fault. So all I'm trying to say, it's not the liability of Bud. Y'all wanted to be the liability of Bud because you wanted to see this man take a lowball ass offer and you wasn't sure that Spence can beat him. You just wanted to see if it's possible, if placed in that situation, what the results would be. That's it, man. Y'all not 100% confident this dude can go in there and beat Crawford? Y'all know that man's been fucking up. So much to the fact, y'all same individuals will sit up here and tell your kids that the shit that Errol Spence has done, I want you never to be in that situation. But you won't come on here and address your kids while you on the mic and on camera and tell them, hey, I rock with him heavy, but as my children, I don't want you to be in a position like that when you get older, okay? I don't want you to get behind. I don't want you to be out here in public intoxicated. I don't want you to do that shit. I want you to take whatever career you got. I want you to always maintain that professionalism so it can set you up for success, that you can continue to grow with promotions and earn more money to not only take care of yourself, but possibly family that's in your immediate responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You able to earn wealth for your kids, you know what I'm saying? Turn your kids on or your spouse or whatever the case may be. They're up here telling their kids not to do the shit he did. But they want to be hypocrites on here, bro. So no one ever had a problem with AJ never being assembled to the sport or his fighters. Shout out to Wyatt, man. If it's the Wyatt I think it is. Shout out to Wyatt. So no one had a problem with Al never being a symbol to the sport. A symbol to the sport or his fighters. Let me try to interpret this. So a symbol to the sport of his fighters or his fighters. All I'm doing is speaking about, if I'm interpreting this correctly, I'm speaking about Al Haymon making the fight for 2023. It's nothing else Terrence Crawford can do. It's nothing else Terrence Crawford can do, Wyatt. I'm speaking to the YTC community. It's nothing else Terrence Crawford can do if they sent him a damn revision back and said the fight gonna be in 2023 and this man want to make money. What else is it for him to do? Are we not in the business of making money? So since we are in the business of making money, if the opportunity presented itself that you're able to make 8 freaking figures in a stay busy fight, you're not going to wait 5 months into 2023. It's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. It is not happening. It's not happening. Anybody in their right mind, they always say how boxers don't have no common sense. They're not business savvy. They get taken advantage of. And you see a fighter who they said was a man with no land, right? He gets up and he takes a stay busy fight for that amount of money. And he's wrong? All because y'all want him to stay seated? Y'all want him to stay in place for 5 fucking months? I'm trying not to include race into it. Because I don't know the consensus of my own people that's pushing this bullshit. I don't know the consensus. I don't know a number. But what I'm saying, he's supposed to not make money after the final revision said that 2023. We're going to do this in 2023. Not having anything confirmed, the rest of 2022 is out of the fucking question. So kudos and salute to Team Crawford for using Plan Bravo and taking a step in another direction to make their money. Because we all know, and this to tie it all up in a motherfucking knot, this is for anybody and everybody. We all know that boxing doesn't have a retirement plan. So since we all know that, since we all smart enough to know that boxing don't have a retirement, it doesn't have a retirement. It doesn't give you free medical and dental. If you got a family that you got to support, you have to make sure while you making your money as an active fighter who still has value in the sport, still has Wall Street in the sport, right? Why are you acting like this type of situation doesn't happen? He has the opportunity to make money, dog. Come on, man. I don't even have to explain that shit. Boxing don't have a retirement plan, but yet y'all sitting up here bitching and complaining that the man is taking a stay busy fight. It's not a good look. I'm telling you, real talk. That shit y'all doing is not a good look, bro. All that shit you saying, it doesn't make any sense, man. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo on deck with it. Always supporting the channel. On deck with a $10 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Salute WCS and Big Blunts. Look like we have Spence Strawberry Shortcake Kids in the chat with that spoiled milk breath in here. That's what it is, man. They so spoiled, dog. You try to feed them sweets and everything to butter them up. They spit that shit out. No! Just give me a Tootsie Roll. But I gave you strawberry cheesecake, though. I gave you red velvet. I gave you chocolate fudge. It tastes way better than a Tootsie Roll. No, give me a Tootsie Roll. Give me a fruit roll up. Give me all the cheap candy. Give me a Jolly Rancher. Hey, appreciate that super chat there, Mr. Gumbo. Man, if y'all ain't subscribed, man, subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you, man. Subscribe to the channel. The ones that's over here talking about, other boxing topics outside of what it's all good. I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Charles said, is a fully licensed and certified Spence ball handler. Ain't he though, Andrew? he know how to cross over, don't he? You know what I'm saying? And he gets called for carrying all the time because he want him close to his chest. You feel me? That's why they always calling traveling on him. He carried those balls straight up top, man, close to his heart. I'm actually surprised to see him sticking his head out of his usual echo chambers. Hey, man, they're going to come over here if they feel that something that they listen to makes sense, but they don't want to give credit to it. A nigga, if I was up here stuttering and shit and have a speech impediment and didn't know shit about boxing, they'll say, oh, man, you don't know shit about boxing. We ain't going to tune in. But that's not the case, bro. I don't know everything there is. I never said I know everything, but I can give my opinion about 2023. It is nothing else that Terrence Crawford can do to change the date of Al Haymon. Al Haymon is the grand poobah, the decision maker. He is the authority. Who's going to change his mind? It ain't Floyd Mayweather, because he came out and said the fight ain't happening. So since Terrence Crawford cannot change and he's not signed to Al Haymon, he doesn't have to fall beneath the structure and staying put into 2023. He didn't sign, bro. He did not sign. Are y'all understanding? He did not sign. Not signing for a fight. He agreed to everything. But we're talking about 2023. The calendar year following 22 is months away. That means from this date forward, Terrence Crawford can do what the hell he wants to do. He is not signed and restricted and shackled and cuffed. He is a man with land. I bet that hurt, huh? He is a man with land because he's able to walk and go over there and start negotiating with somebody else for possibly 8 motherfucking figures. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Y'all can express different opinions. Just keep it respectful, fellas. I'm sure everyone here is legal adult. Man, talk to him, bro. Talk to him, Blunts. Man, I'm just saying, man, I try to speak to these guys in a way that, you know what I'm saying, keep it playful. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be vitriol. Keep it playful. Keep it on boxing. They always got to come over here with the disrespect, bro. Why you say there's nothing wrong with Bud to taking a fight before a fight with Spence? There also could be leverage for Bud negotiations. Wide, all I'm saying is, if you the Wide that I know, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. If this is indeed the Wyatt that I know that's attached to PBC, he knows very well you're not going to dictate the decision-making process of Al Haymon. So since we understand that shit in the chat, it shouldn't be no other channels up here talking about Bud. He wrong for taking a stay busy fight. No, nigga. Y'all motherfuckers just huddle together. Y'all upset because he's potentially making 8 figures. Let's keep it a buck, a thou wow, or whatever. You mad because it's not Spence having the opportunity to walk his ass and say, you know what? He's about to go ahead and fight for 8 figures too. No, you see the lack of freedom and you want to say, oh man, you know, we can't really control where Bud's going. God damn it, but we're going to talk shit about him on YouTube. The YTC. We're going to keep throwing smut on his name because we don't like that nigga. We're going to keep on throwing smut on his name. But it don't matter. Because any one of y'all niggas that's over here hating, you can't stop him from getting paid. You ain't signing the motherfucking checks, man. Y'all ain't shining the motherfucking checks. Y'all just gonna be in the parking lot. We don't like it. We don't like it. No, stay busy. We don't like it. Wait to 23. Wait to 23. Wait to 23. Why he gonna be in there in the locker room getting wrapped up, getting his gloves laced, warming up the mitts. He about to go down and make a ring walk and go in there and goddamn step on this dude for 8 fucking figures. While the people in the parking lot wait to 23. Hey, y'all know the fight's over. Oh, for real? Hey, let's pack up and go, man. I'm tired anyway. Y'all want to stop by Popeyes? They have a Popeyes in Omaha? What about a Waffle House? IHOP? Anywhere? I'm hungry, man. All this protesting. We didn't stop anything. We didn't impede anything, man. I feel like it was a waste of time. You know what? Hey, y'all go ahead, man. No, come on, man. We all came up here to protest. No, man, I want to wait the bud come out so I can get a picture, man. He's rich again. He's rich. Oh, my God. 8 figures? I got to get a picture. Fuck the protest. I want a picture. Man, you a sellout, nigga. You came all the way over to Omaha. You're supposed to stick with us. I'm going to meet up with y'all. I'm just going to hang out in the back. I want a picture, dog. Nobody seems to be worried about David Avanesian. He's the one being called a tune-up. Talk your shit, Toby. So he's probably about to get knocked the fuck out. Spare thought for him. Man, god damn, there's some smart people in the chat. God damn, dog. He said, nobody's talking about David Avanesian. They calling this man a tune-up, man. He says he's probably about to get knocked the fuck out. Spare a thought for him. That's wasabi. That's wasabi. That's all the way real. They so driven. Look, they so driven. They're drowning themselves in Crawford hate that they don't even think about criticizing David Avanesian and what he's about to do. He's about to get paid probably his highest payday in a stay busy fight for Crawford. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Man, come on, y'all. Juice Lee, please to bump what I'm saying. Black Prime is worth $5 million. What the hell is Bud getting this 8-figure payday? Look. Check this out. You're on the wrong platform for this. I'm not attaching myself to BOK Prime. Go elsewhere. If you follow the YTC and ask that person, ask those individuals. Don't come over here with those questions. Take your ass over there across the street and ask them that question. Don't come over here asking these questions. Don't ask me the questions. I don't have time. I don't know. I know not the knowledge to provide for you. I'm pretty much going to spit the same thing you're doing. I'm going to talk about it in a way like you. I'm going to provide an overlay of BOK Prime. So you need to think about how he's going to make a penny more than what he would have made not fighting for 5 months. Don't worry about the 8 figures. Worry about the 1 cent that he's set to make more than if he would have sat on his motherfucking hands all the way to 2023. Come on, man. Come on, be honest. Be honest. Stop it, bro. Well, you already know where we at with it. BIG on deck. What's good? What's good? Brian on deck. What's good? Appreciate all the comments, man. Hit the like button. You got to get the likes up in here, bro. Expert on deck. Salute to you. WCS, I was watching somebody and they was talking about Earl Spence has something to do with the little rapper. Okay, Charleston White, you know, I really don't get involved with the hip hop situation. I know exactly what you're talking about, brother. I know, but you know, I'm not trying to, you know, venture off into. I talked about it one time before, briefly, But that is what I correlate into the way I feel about the shit he do outside. You know what I'm saying? I just keep it on the surface. You know, him being inebriated. I don't go deep into who they dating, the shit connection with I don't really talk about that. Because then his people would just go in a crazy erratic moment. They'll be driving up the street and they'll just jump out their car. No, I hate him. WCS, you motherfucker. They just jump out their car, man, and run down the highway, bro. If I was to start talking about the shit that Charleston White was talking about, I knew it. They got the same last name. They are brothers. That's why they hate Spence. Man, these niggas would lose their fucking mind, dog. They got the same last name. I knew it. I knew it. Come on. Stop it. Man, appreciate y'all pulling up, man. I got to bounce. I'll be back on here later. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back on here later. Hit the replay if you choose to. You know what I'm saying? That's all I had to say to a point. But I got to bounce. I'll be back. Y'all turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. Salute to everybody that was in the chat, man, supporting the channel. Hit the like button, get them up, sub, all that. And we'll do this next time.